I literally found out like 3 days before I got here that I was gonna come here. So like it was like, hey, you want to come here? Okay, like here's talk to Normans, and you know, you guys figure things out. And so they got me a plane ticket to come 2 days later, and then I got here and just hit the ground running. You dropped me off in Valmiera, and yeah, it was a long camp. Oh man, we went and played Torpedo. It was still summer, like the season started so early. I've never started the season so early in my life. Like normally, yeah, like I'd be back home mid-training during that time, and we were already having exhibition games. And yeah, cause like the NHL exhibition games didn't start for another like month and a half or something like that. So it was so hot, and we got there, and like we were staying in these like tiny rooms that were like, again, like the beds were as wide as this cushion, you know? So like I'm like sleeping on this, like in this boiling hot room. Like we left our door open and our window open to try and get some airflow. So all night we just slept with our door wide open. So like anyone could just come in and steal all our stuff if they wanted to. And you know, that was like, and I was with Justin Shug too. So it was like our first experience of Russia. And we were like, what have we done? You know, we've made some terrible life choices. But like, it was, again, like it was just like hot. You didn't get a lot of sleep because of, you know, how hot it was and stuff. And it's kind of interesting because it was like, they don't do like tournaments like that in North America, maybe for the American League for their like rookie camps or stuff like that, but not in like the NHL or anything like that. But again, for me, like I was still trying out, and like, oh, I remember my friends messaging me saying, oh, how's it going? And I was just like ready to just break down. You know, I was like so stressed out, and I was like sleep deprived, like exhausted, because you know the coach is like, we got to get in good shape, and like, you know, like you're trying to give it everything you have every day, but like my gas tank was running on empty that entire trip, and like you just try and do your best. And I mean, I'm sure everyone was kind of running on empty, but yeah, that was the first Russian experience, and that will be my story. I'll be telling that story a lot in the summertime when everyone's asking me about it. Yeah, well, it's true. I like this. I like this city. It's like, it's not like crazy big. It's like, for me, it's a perfect size. And like everything, like I live like downtown, so like everything I can just walk to, and yeah, and everyone's, you know, it's a beautiful buildings and everything. I don't know. I like it. I just enjoy being here. Well, like when I compare like some cities in Russia to where I am now, there's some pretty, I don't know, there's some cities where I would not want to live in Russia, that's for sure. Just like, I wouldn't leave my apartment. I'd just like stay there all day, you know, like someone would have to come pick me up and take me to the rinks. I don't, you know, yeah.
But still in those cities are import players.
Yeah, yeah, there are. And good on them. Good for them. I'm sure, everywhere you go, I feel like hockey players are like really, really nice anyways. Like, you know, I feel like you hear like football players and like have like how they have their little beefs with each other, and like maybe basketball players, at least in North America, little beefs and stuff. But like, I feel like you never see that with hockey. Everyone's pretty nice and inviting, and I think it has something, I don't know. Like there's some like Magnitogorsk, like just like in terms of like your overall health, you know, like you could never, I'd never want to play there, just because you read all these articles like the amount of pollution that's in the air there is like 23 more times than you're like supposed to have. So when we got there, Justin like made sure the window was like locked, closed, and like sealed, you know, so like there was no like outside air getting in, you know. And like I was like, oh, like great. But like I was like we're only here for like 2 days, like we're gonna be fine, you're not gonna die here, it's okay. But I mean, for me, like I love being in like a city that I can, you know, walk around in and just kind of, I think it's important to get away from the rink and like away from, you know, from work, I guess, because I mean even with traveling and everything like that, like I'm with these guys all the time, you know. Sometimes I need some just alone Colton time, you know, just like let me just go walk by myself and be by myself for a bit. And I don't know, I walk down to Old Town, you know, grab a bite to eat down there. I actually try and like try out different restaurants and stuff like that, and yeah, just little breaks from the guys. But I do live with one of them, so they don't always get the break, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like in Canada, growing up, I feel like every kid plays hockey, you know, to some degree. And I played tons of other sports, like, well, I wouldn't say tons, but I played like baseball, basketball, volleyball. My brother went higher in basketball and baseball and everything like that. And from a young age, like you're just kind of put into hockey, you know, and like, I don't know how parents do it, you know, like especially like they wake up early, drive their kid to the rink and blah, blah, blah. One of my memories that I have being little is, I don't even know how old I was, but my mom would put my hockey bag on her back, and we'd ride our bikes to the hockey rink while my brother was in school. And like, I would have little hockey lessons or whatever, right? And I'm sure I was just out there just standing and trying to skate and move, but I'll always remember those were just like the funnest times. Just like I wouldn't even say being on the ice, riding from my house on the bicycle to the hockey rink with my mom. That was really neat. I know when I was growing up, I think everybody just like, yeah, you have a son? I was like, put him in hockey. I mean, it is an expensive sport too, so like if you can afford it, obviously, but yeah, that was it. And like I've always had the passion for it, even especially like when I was younger. I think what really helped me, like, you know, want to become an NHL hockey player was the fact that my second uncle, Colton Gillies, played in the NHL, and he won 4 Stanley Cups, and you know, he made a good career out of himself. He was like this big tough guy, you know, and just being a little kid and looking, I was like, wow, like someone in my family was in the NHL, I can do that too, you know. And just like having that motivation and passion for it, I think that really kind of sparked that for me. You know what? When I was in grade 3, I had a teacher. Actually, we had to write what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I always, like, it's another one of these memories that I'll always think about. She obviously said, I wrote down like, I want to be a hot NHL. I want to play in the NHL, like. And I remember her giving it back to me, and she told me to pick something different because she gave me all these statistics. She said, like, do you know how many kids make it to the NHL and all this stuff, and tried to, I guess, bring me back to reality, you know. And so I ended up saying I wanted to be a firefighter. Or a teacher. It was one of those two. A PE teacher, because I obviously loved playing, like, outside and doing all these physical sports and stuff. But I actually kept in really good contact with that teacher, even when I left and went to high school and graduated. And I'd always come back to the elementary school and talk to kids, and because I was like on the World Juniors and with Team Canada and playing in the CHL with all these leagues that are good leagues. And you know, I'd always come back and talk to the kids and talk to that teacher. And then she actually ended up passing away. I know I was probably about 22, and she actually left me in her will. And her name was Joan Hall, and she left like, wasn't like crazy bunch of money or anything like that, but like just, I don't know, maybe just from like over the years of giving back and stuff. And so I took that money and actually ended up making a little scholarship for like kids wanting to go to college every year. Like a kid in this high school that I went to will get like a little bit of money to help pay for books or whatever. But that that's another memory that I'll always carry with me. Like crazy, like how things work out. And like even when I made the NHL, and like she was so happy for me, obviously. But again, like for kids like nowadays, it's good to dream, you know. Like I think that's very important, and like I think that's what motivates us a lot. You know, you have to have a dream, and then you have to know what it takes to get to that. And I think that teacher taught me a lot to do with like the statistics, and you know, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to, you know, work hard and smart. I think I was fortunate to have very good coaches growing up. I think that's very important, and I mean, I read these books about like you have to spend a certain amount of hours. I think it's like 10,000 hours doing it yourself to master a craft. So like if you can go to practice and do all that, but like you need to be motivated yourself to like come home after practice and spend like 20 minutes shooting pucks or something like that, or like stick handling or something, and then all those hours add up, and that's supposed to be the magic number to, you know, become a master of your craft. Or like, so if you want to be a guitar player, like you gotta, after practice, you gotta spend that extra time doing it yourself. But that being said, I think parents kind of take it a little bit too far, especially in Canada. Like there's so many like crazy hockey parents, you know, there's always these commercials about these crazy hockey parents and stuff, and you know, making their kids go here, making their kids go to that. And like, I think it's very important that a kid has to have fun and be a kid, you know. You can't like grow up too fast, you know. Like it's a great time, especially right now. It's a great time to be alive and, you know, be young, and that's the one thing. Another thing that I would say is, you know, like it's okay to push your kids, but not too hard. And, you know, like I played other sports, like it wasn't just hockey. Like I had fun playing basketball and baseball. Actually, my dad coached me in baseball, which was like cool for me because he was kind of always working when I was younger. And so that was kind of like our thing that we got to know, even though he never really played hockey, but he said he knows about hockey, right? He's like a hockey parent, I guess. So yeah. It started when I was like, I want to say 13 is when like people start like kind of like noticing, you know, and like especially with the WHL draft, you know, they draft when you're like 15 or 14, kind of that age range. So like they're already kind of looking around and seeing all these players, and it's a lot of pressure for a young kid to have, like 13, 14, 15, around that age, and like deciding, you know, if they want to, you know, kind of go the college route or go to the WHL or the CHL, I guess, the Canadian Hockey League. But it was so long ago. It was kind of a whirlwind. Like it all just kind of happened so fast. Like you have, I think they do the same thing here. Like they play in the winter and then they have their national team, you know, kind of in the summertime, and it's just like almost like it's almost like a full year kind of thing, you know. Like you get maybe like a month or two off, but like you're playing all the time. And when I moved to like Saskatoon, and I got to live with my grandparents, and which was really cool for me because I live in Vancouver, which is a couple provinces away, so it's about like a 2.5, 3 hour flight to get to Saskatoon. So it's a pretty far place, and then it's like country, you know, it's the middle of nowhere. It's like it was a great little town, and like you guys think of like cold and everything, you know, you guys kind of know cold, but like this place, it's like -40 with wind chill, and like you go outside and with wet hair and it's like instantly frozen. And but like I had to move away when I was 16 to go live there, but luckily I was with my grandparents, and which is a good thing and a bad thing, because like my dad, he was like, your grandma's nickname is Sarge for a reason, you know, like she used to be a school teacher, like an old school teacher, which was like really hard and, you know, strict. And I mean, we had curfews and everything too, so she made sure like those were enforced, like because like our team had curfews. And I mean, I feel like I was a good kid anyways, but yeah, and that's like, so yeah, it's like when you're a young Canadian hockey player, and even some like, you know, like European players, like at a young age come play in Canada, and like you got to move away like pretty young, and it's a lot to sacrifice for a young kid, because you know, you got your normal friends who are like going to school still, and you know, like they all hang out, and you're always gone, and it's like you give them a call, what are you guys doing? Like, oh, we're at a party or something, and you're just like, oh, I'm just sitting on the bus, you know, like coming back from a hockey game. And so there's ups and downs, obviously, and you learn a lot about, like, you know, hard work, sacrifices, and everything like that. So I have no regrets in all the decisions I've made in my life, so I'm happy, and I know that's something that, you know, my dad taught me when I was little. Like, he's a carpenter, and he's like, I might not have the most glamorous job, but I love what I do, you know, and like, you got to find something that you love, and, you know, make sure you give it everything you have. Yeah. I'll always remember winning World Juniors. You know, we were playing Sweden, and they were really good, and they beat us in overtime in the normal tournament, and we went into overtime in the finals, and I was like, oh God, no, not again, you know, and because they ended up tying it up like close to the end too, and we ended up winning. And you know, I had a really close friend that I grew up with playing hockey, Kyle Turris, and like they were like him and their family were like my second family. I would always like go on road trips with them growing up and stuff. So it was really cool to play together with, you know, and win with someone that I was so close with. And like there's lots of pictures of us like winning together and everything. So like that's for sure the best win I've ever had. Yeah. It was oh man, it was a whirlwind. Like, you don't really know what to think, you know. You hear all these like rumors, and I mean, you have an agent and everything like that at the time, and again, like Minnesota actually ended up trading up. They were, I think, supposed to pick at like 18, and they switched to 16 or something like that. So yeah, I honestly, like, I didn't even care what like team drafted me, or what, you know, or what position I went in the draft. I just I was just like so happy and thankful to be there, and I was fortunate to be in the first round as well, and have that opportunity. My brother came with me, and we had like some good memories, and yeah, it was in Columbus too, so I actually ended up going back there and played there for a year and a half. So, oh man, I can guarantee I didn't sleep. I can't really remember, but I can guarantee you I didn't sleep very much. And I just I remember stepping out on that ice in Minnesota. We were playing against Boston, and usually got sold out, 16,000, like screaming. Everyone's like wearing a jersey. Even to this day, when I was playing, even in the NHL, my favorite rink to go to was Minnesota. They have a great like hockey culture there. Like, everyone's like just loves hockey and loves to be, you know, around that atmosphere, and they really support their team there. And I know even in the past years when they haven't been doing so well, they've really supported them. And it's a great facility and a great rink, and it's a good moment for me. It's tough because like they have players that they pay a lot of money to, you know, to get a lot of ice time, and I don't know. I would say just get more points, and to stay there, you need to get more points. It's tough being on the fourth line and stuff, but maybe even fight more. The thing is, though, when I was there, like there was some big tough guys, like in Minnesota, like Bugard was still there, you know, and you know, like if I ever fought Bugard, he would have destroyed me. The guy was like 280 pounds, and yeah. Again, like I feel like looking back, even though like it's not like I didn't work hard, you know, like I made sure I was the hardest worker every day. Sometimes things just, you know, don't work out. You can only control what you can control. And like after my first year there, the guys that drafted me and had a plan for me, they all ended up getting fired. You know, they got new GMs and, you know, new coaches and, you know, a whole new staff. So things kind of changed there. And actually, even when I went to Columbus, the guys that you know picked me up off waivers and brought me into Columbus and gave me that opportunity, they ended up getting fired too. And they brought new, like, it was just like, I don't know, timing's everything too. They brought in new GMs and new GM and coaching and everything. So yeah, I mean, the AHL is a good league and everything, but like the NHL, it's like top guys. Like if you're a top guy, top like scorer in the AHL, like you got like another level of the top scorers, you know, that, you know, and that's their thing, and you got to find maybe another way to play even, you know. Like for me, I wasn't going to go and, you know, take over Rick Nash's spot, you know. Like he's a good player. He's like, we're kind of like similar size and stuff, but like he's already established himself and he's, you know, got that going. Like you need to, again, like it comes down to timing, I think, a lot of it, and, you know, like, you know, getting called up at the right time and getting good minutes and everything like that. And again, like being drafted high just kind of gives you that opportunity to, you know, get your foot in that door too. So I was actually going to do the schooling for the firefighting course this year during the season. There's a program back home where you can do all the written work during the season, and then after the season you go to the facility for like 5 weeks and you do all the physical requirements and testing and on-site practice and stuff like that. So like that, there's like a program that the PHPA, the American Hockey League, offers to their players. It's like kind of the only program like it in like kind of, I guess, the world, where you can do this. It's with firefighting and being a police officer. And I was gonna do it this year, and our schedule was just so crazy at the beginning. I was like all my spare time, I was just so tired, and I was like, I don't know if I'd be able to do this right now. Like, I'll just put it off for next year maybe or something, you know. Just something that you always want to have a plan and look to the future and everything. And yeah, because you never know what's going to happen. And I had one agent that I had for about 8, 9 or 10 years. So, and like after the lockout, I played, you know, with Columbus, and then I was down in the minors for Buffalo, and then I was in the minors for, you know, the Islanders as well this following season. And I kind of just wasn't happy with where like everything was kind of going, and I wasn't sure if maybe I was even being represented very well or anything like that. And, you know, I would have had regrets if I didn't change agents, you know, and not try something different. And so I ended up changing agents, and, you know, I wasn't sure whether I was going to go to Europe or stay in North America and, you know, try and, you know, get back up to the NHL or stay down the minors, but like just back and forth. And I talked to guys that were over in Europe, and they really liked it and stuff. And there was a job opening in Slovakia, and my agent told me that you need to kind of decide on this quick, or someone else is going to take it. Like, so I was like kind of panicking. I was like, I don't know, like, should I stay here or go over? Like, what's going on? Like, obviously my parents are like, yeah, it's your life, you choose, like, but I ended up like 2 days, like I was like, okay, sure, like I'll come, like I'll play, and because they had a good team and good coaches, and they're supposed to go far in playoffs and everything like that. So it's always you want to be a part of like a winning team, and teams want winners and guys that know how to win games, and so I went over there, and I got there, and guys were like, when I showed up, they're like welcome to the team, like why are you here, like they're like, you could have went anywhere, like with your resume, like I don't know, they're like, well, I don't know why you came here, and I was like, I don't know, like I was told to, I went there, and I was doing well, and I ended up getting hit in the knee, and I tore like my MCL, and so I was out for a while, and that was like probably the biggest injury I've ever had. Normally I'm pretty healthy, and Georgie ended up coming and playing the last little bit of the season with us, and I remember there was like one night after a game we had like, I was like a heart to heart, like he's like, what are you doing here? Like, like you should be freaking playing in the NHL or something, like he's like, you shouldn't be here. And I know that much, and we talked, and we ended up going to the finals that year, and we lost in Game 6, so that sucked. That was last year, and went home, had a good summer, training and everything like that, and had some off time, and then out of the blue, Georgie doesn't even have like a Facebook. He messaged me on Instagram, which is like, who messages on Instagram, right? Like, I never check my messages on Instagram, but he's like, hey, like what's your number? I want to talk to you, and like do you want to come play for Riga in the KHL? And I was like, yeah, like I'd love to, like it's a good league. It's like a league. It's like one of my goals. There's like here, Germany, or Finland, or the Swiss league or something, were kind of like the places that I wanted to go. And he's like, the only thing is you have to try out. Like they're not gonna sign you without looking at you, or like And I was like sure, like at this moment in time, like I was like with this new agent, he was like, he said he was talking to teams and waiting to hear back from teams here and there and stuff, and for like 2 months he just kind of saying the same thing, and I wasn't like kind of like leading me on almost, or like I don't know what he was doing, or and so I was just like, what, like I'm gonna go to Riga and try out. Like I have nothing to lose, so if anything, that was more motivation, for me to be here and try out and try and make the team. And Georgie said, he's like, don't worry, you'll be fine. Meanwhile, I'm stressing out, like, I got to make this. If I don't make this team, I'm retiring, and so far everything's been great. Like everything, has been working out, and you can make excuses all day, but at the end of the day, you do need to win games. And I know at the beginning, like even like myself, like ran into some like penalty troubles and stuff, and I kind of had to change kind of like the way I played a little bit. And I know we struggled with our penalty kill right off the bat, and like we've gotten really good on the penalty kill since, but I don't know, when things weren't, again, like when things weren't going well, it's tough, because like again, like there is all this other outside pressure, and like you know, the pressure on like the management puts pressure on the coaches, and then the coaches put pressure on the players, you know, it just kind of like trickles down, you know. And like next thing you know, like the players or everyone's holding their stick tight, and you know, they're afraid to make a play, or they, you know, it's everything just kind of builds and accumulates, and it's tough to, you know, I mean, you hear about this word confidence all the time too, like, and your confidence just goes out the window, you know. Like there's guys that, you know, they're really good players and they can make all these plays, but they don't, because they don't believe in themselves. And I think that's like a big thing, and you know, lately we've been having some success, and knock on wood, it keeps going. But yeah, and like you can see on the ice, like guys are getting, you know, more confident, and again, like even happier around the dressing room and stuff, you know. Like, you know, you go into work every day and you're, you know, miserable and you're worried, you know, you're not going to have a good day at work, you know. So it's I mean, you can say that to anyone, you know, like you go on TV, you're gonna, you know, you're not gonna, then you're not happy, and you're not, you know, it's gonna be tough to kind of hide that and get through it. So and it's a tough thing to explain, because it's, I mean, a lot of people don't really understand because they're not in the situation, and they don't really, and I feel like it's the best way to know is to be there. So and it's tough, and it's, I mean, it hasn't been the greatest situation, and I think, like, I try and always stay positive, and I mean, when you do lose and when there is failure, there's always a chance to reflect and you know, understand and learn why things are they are, and you know, we learn from our mistakes, and you know, hopefully in the future I'll be more prepared for something like this, and hopefully I'd never have a season kind of that starts like we had this year. And yeah. All right. So if you said that question to Ozo, the first thing he would say is, "It's not me." Hey, if he's got a magic stick, just pass it to me, you know? No, he's I mean, he's very, very knowledgeable, and like, again, like he understands where we are. You know, it wasn't too long ago he was in our position, you know, and he understands, you know, the ups and downs of hockey, and I mean, I think he couldn't have come at a better time. Like, he's got nothing to lose, you know, like we can only go up from where we were, and you know, it's been awesome to have him around the rink, and you can tell he's still got tons of passion for the game, and you know, he just like, and again, like when you see that, it kind of brings more out from you, you know. And I think a lot of the best coaches get their players to play for him, you know. He's not being all like, you got to do this, you got to do that, you know. Like, it's like he just comes, he's like, I'm my biggest critic, you know. Like, I know what I do wrong, like I know I need to be better, you know. I don't need somebody being like, the coach being like, bah, 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 you know. Like, we all hold each other accountable, and you know, at the end of the day, like I'm gonna let my buddy know if he's not, you know, doing his best or doing everything he can do to be his best. And just like, again, like having him there, and having, you know, he's easy to talk to, you know, and he brings a lot of positive energy to the, and when I say positive energy, just positive attitude around the dressing room, which is really what we've been needing a lot lately. And it's contagious, and then you just kind of build on it, you know. And I don't know what he says to like our coaches or whatever, like he could be saying stuff back there or what, and you know, but I don't know. But you know, I've been really happy to get to know him, and thankful to get to know him. You know, he played in the NHL for so long, and I know he's a big deal here. I mean, he is a big deal, but like I think everyone's happy that he's here with us, and I mean, hopefully, you know, he can help us some more. Inside belief, I'm always, belief is a powerful thing. You always got to believe either, you know, in what you're doing or, you know, yourself. And, you know, again, goals and dreams are very powerful and motivating, and you need to have those, you know, to go anywhere. Like I can tell everyone right now, like, I know I'm gonna play every game like it's my last, you know, like you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow or the next day. Like, you know, you could get in an accident or something, and, you know, God forbid. But I know like our team, everyone, you know, we work so hard, and sometimes, you know, I think we work too hard, you know, like sometimes like in practice and whatever, like we work so hard like before games and stuff, and sometimes we kind of overdo it. And yeah, I obviously I believe in that we could, you know, put something special together here. We have a great team, great group of guys, and I mean, I believe in us, but we'll see. You know, it sucks. Like, I hate watching my team play. I hate watching my team play. But like, because I want to be out there, you know, like I want to, you know, help them out. I want to, you know, be with them, but I can't right now. And that's why every day, twice, you know, I'm treatment twice a day, work out, and, you know, try and do everything I can to be there faster. So, I mean, I've got fear. I feel like everyone's got fear. Like,
what's your biggest? For what?
Oh God, you know what? This is literally yesterday. I woke up from a dream, a freaking snake. I was on the golf course wearing, for some reason, rubber boots, and there was like it looked like a poisonous snake, got in my boot. So I was like running around like with my boot, like literally this happened yesterday in my dream. And I hate snakes. And I was like trying to get this boot off, and there was another snake, and it was attacking me, and then I woke up, right? So that is a huge fear of mine. So don't bring any snakes around me. And fun fact, when in Minnesota, when I lived with Brent Burns, he had like 38 different species of pythons, right? So me being not very fond of snakes, but he had them all like kind of like locked up in this like room, like in the far corner like of the house. And I was like, oh God, like, so I would have been like 18 at the time, and I was staying in Minnesota, and he actually let me brought me in and like let me live at his place, because like I was there by myself, 18 years old, like got like $500 to my name, you know, and like I'm supposed to, like, I was sleeping on a couch at someone else's house or whatever, right? So he brought me in, and like he like took care of me, like, and he has all these snakes, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, and he's like a jokester too. I was like, if you care about these animals, and you will not put one of them in the bed with me, because that thing is going straight through the window, and I'm gonna it's gonna die, you know, like I'm gonna be like freaking out. So and even then, like, he made me hold one time, and I hated it, and just like, it's not my animals, you know. There's my little rant about my fear, and then I guess I'll go back to like fighting and stuff. I mean, I don't think you want to play afraid. You know, you don't want to play scared. Like, at least like that's not the way I play. You know, like, I mean, you need to be cautious of certain guys out there. Like I hope people are kind of afraid of me, but like, you know, like when I'm on the ice, like I feel like, you know, like they should know I'm there. You know, like or else I'm not doing my job. You know, they should know that I'm on the ice, and like that you know, if they're putting themselves in a vulnerable position, like I might hurt them or like hit them, you know, like it's just like the way I am. And some guys don't really do that, but I don't know, for me, like, I feel like that's a big part of my game. And I know how effective it is, especially, you know, being on the other end. And when I was in the NHL playing on fourth line on some of these teams, and like you play against these guys who are just, you know, like they've been fighting like their entire lives, and these guys are so good at fighting, and they're huge. They got like, you know, 40 kilos on me or something, you know, like they're big boys, and and like they're just out there to try and hurt you, you know. So you got to be, you know, like again, like you got to be cautious. You got to be careful. So yeah, I wish the fans.
Yeah.
I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. Stay safe. My favorite, again, this is my favorite time of year. Like it's all about family, you know, and it kind of sucks that I'm like so far away, but I've kind of always been, and just have a good time. Have a good time. Hopefully all the kids get what they want.